Much Dracos. It's fantastic to hear the confidence coming out from Attila, the crowd backing him up, supporting him as well. And I mean, after a performance like that, he deserves, he should be confident like he is there.
He played extremely well in this game. It wasn't really the guy we focused on because so much was around Jizuke, but as we said during that last game here, in every single team fight, he was constantly positioning correctly, getting a ton of damage out, and when everyone was looking towards Jizuke, can we kill him? Well, Attila would just take you down.
Yeah, well, let's look at some of that positioning. Let's get another look at the final fight brought to you by Acer Predator. Max Lore going on in. You gotta love it. But that's where the turn comes around for Vitality, doesn't it?
Yeah. This is obviously desperation from Misfits.
And Jack Troll getting to the assassination there.
That is the best way to end the game for Jack Troll because he actually started this series so poorly with the Leona pick, but he went back to comfort. Alistar Braum, especially the Braum pick here, was actually huge for him in these fights. And of course, Jizuke stays in the side lanes by pushing.
Of course, he's going to end up finishing the game with the rest of the team coming on in, but it was fantastic to see. Vitality, game one was rough for them, but they really turned it around. I think Yamato Cannon, a huge factor in that, coming back with a very strong plan in the draft to enable players like Attila to really drive it home for Vitality.
Yeah, and that's a very good point because a lot of people looked at the draft in the semifinal against Schalke and said, ooh, that's not great. You know, Yamato Cannon, what's happening here? There's barely any win conditions on your side, or maybe like one successful early game play, and if that doesn't happen, the team just falls apart. But this one, because they knew they had an advantage in the mid lane, they could go back to these carries that Jizuke played in spring when he was so successful and everyone was hyping him as one of these new big EU mid laners. It gave them more ways to play the game. It was not just about one play in the bottom lane. It was suddenly actually a lot about getting mid lane ahead, and then you can play these big team fights.
Well, that was fantastic. But for more on tonight's action, let's head over to Shucks and Friends in the LCS post-game lobby.
Hello everyone and welcome to the post-game lobby, live from the Palacio Vista Alegre. Kikis, you were just saying your volume needed to go up. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you, Shucks.
Okay, good. Great. So that's all in order. Then congratulations, guys. Incredible feat beating Misfits here. Can I just get a first reaction out of both of you? Jizuke, maybe first?
Like, I was so wasted at the end of the series and I was just dying. So, I don't know. We were winning and I was singing him, guys, I can't tell them, I know Lulu is coming and Sion is coming, but I can't tell my tears, they're coming. Oh. Help me, guys. I was like fainting on stage.
So you were almost crying at the end of the game. So did anyone help you or were you just like, all right, screw it, I'm gonna cry?
I was just rushing on Lulu one last time, but I was crying, I was like moving to the bottom, but I was like, the guys, they're going on me, but help me. They're going on me.
Oh, fantastic. Kikis, are you then the level-headed guy? Were you calm and did you say, team, come on, we still need to finish this. This is so important.
I think I'm the type of guy that holds his emotion until the very end. So we didn't qualify for Worlds, right? Like third place match, like being third place, of course, is really nice, and it shows that we are still a good team, and beating Misfits is good, but I'm still waiting for Fnatic to win tomorrow, right? And then I think I'm gonna drop my emotions, right? Because in the Schalke series, when we're even 0-2, right? There's no space for any kind of emotion during the series, but then after the series, everything like comes running like a truck. So
yeah.
Kikis, I have a follow-up because one of my favorite memories was you winning with G2 Esports, jumping up and down on stage, but watching the entire Vitality team hug, crying, emotion. I mean, it's a level of investment we don't see from teams. So what sort of feeling is that with the team when you can celebrate and share and really be that happy?
I mean, Nick is like the biggest part of my life through anything, right? So of course it's a really good feeling, and for the whole year, that's like for the whole year I was playing in Polish League. People were adapting my skills and everything, and it just feels really good to achieve something, right?
Of course, we take a look there again at your coach was also extraordinarily excited. I don't see Yamato like that too often. The last time I saw him like that was when he qualified for Worlds with Splice, and he got that milestone. What was it like, hugging Yamato at the end, and why do you think he was so emotional?
I think just by seeing me, he got emotional as well.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I was crying on the chair, he got emotional with me. But also, I mean, tomorrow I'm gonna be the best fanboy for Fnatic, but I think they're gonna win. So in me and Yamato's mind, we think that Fnatic win and we go worse. So that's why we're.
You're less careful. Kiki says we're gonna see, and you're like they're gonna win.
I know Fnatic, so I think they're gonna win. And tomorrow I'm gonna cheer them up really hard.
Listen, today, this was an upset win. Today, all of the experts, all of the analysts, everybody I'd seen except for Sharks and Pyra had said Misfits were going to win. So, is it something special? Why was it that all of the experts said you guys were going to lose? Let's start with Kikis first, you know, and you showed up today.
I wanted to follow up to the others thingy because I think we're an emotional team in a good way. We take losses really hard and we take wins really well, I guess, and we cheer, but we bounce back really fast. And I think you can see that during the series that even after losing one game, you're still cheering, right? And then I need to ask, you repeat the question.
Yeah, no problem. I was just going to say, coming into today, you guys were the underdogs according to the experts and the analysts. Only Shocks and Pyrotechnics had predicted you to win.
Good job, Shocks.
Yeah,
there we go. But my question is, why do you think that was? You know, why and how did you overcome that to surprise everybody?
I don't really care what other people think. I didn't even know that they're favorites. Like in my mind, we were the favorites anyway. Even though after the semis, right, that we crashed, I guess, and people were, oh, the Vitality train just. Yeah, I don't really care too much about this.
I think that's important, but Kikis, you also know, that's people like to talk that way, but you are the guy who time and time again shows them up. And Jizuke, the same goes for you. We looked at you as the guy. Are you becoming someone who cannot perform in playoffs? You know, it happened in the third place match. There were a lot of question marks about champion pool and whatnot. Can you tell me how you think you did in this series and if you showed people wrong today?
Like going into this Misfits game, I'm not gonna lie, we had the worst week of scrims I ever seen in 2 splits. But still, going in this week, I told everyone that I wanted to play around mid, and if I'm the focus, I knew that I will get really ahead and snowball the whole game, and that's what happened. But I don't know. I didn't even see any reactions of people saying Misfits win, blah blah. Like I thought that if I perform, we had the series, no matter what. Like going into this game, I thought the series would be 3-0 actually.
So it was 3-1.
The fact that we lost one game.
So
just a warm-up game.
No,
I guess.
I'm going to cut you off because we got to talk about the player of the series, and this is kind of perfect. Jizuke, you were the player of the series, voted on Twitter. 71% of the votes. That is not something we see very often. They agree with you. You rocked today.
I mean, I'm really surprised. Usually, Kiki is still every single player of the series. So
my media is really insane.
I'm really surprised.
This guy is really insane. Best media.
I'm really surprised. I beat the Polish fans. What can I say?
He's got to be strong. So tell me about then, champion pool issues and whatnot today. None of that, but still, game 1 on Syndra, even though you had a fine game, it was a rough one for you guys. So what was kind of the bounce back strategy into games 2, 3, and 4 eventually?
Like, for the team, it was a rough game, but for me, like, I was 20, 30 CS up. So, like, I knew my role in the game. And I went to second game, third game, thinking that I can do the same every game. So, everyone else was a bit down, but myself, I don't know. The game was over and I was smiling because I died top. And I was like, but why they're ending the game? Like, I didn't know. I wanted to go for a super play. So, everything was worth, but I didn't realize, so at the end anyway, I was laughing, legit. So I didn't took it wrong at all.
I had a little bit of fun with Deficio in the cast because he was talking about some of the scaling champions that you guys had picked. And specifically was looking at Kikis on Gragas and was like, does Gragas know you can just, does Kikis know you can just farm on Gragas? Because it felt like you just wanted to pick fights and go in all the time. Is that a conscious decision? Is that something that as a team you're just like, hey, we're going to chase every opportunity? Or is that just a Kikis special that you really like to, play for the win?
I think I just play what I think is correct to play, like correct way of playing the game, and I'm just doing this. And I think, okay, actually there were a few scenarios in this series that I just flashed because I was scared, I guess. But usually I think I play the same way I do in scrims on stage. So yeah, like that's just my playstyle, and I'm not really afraid to make plays and screw up sometimes, right?
A couple more questions to wrap up the series, guys. You've said it time and time again. You want to play the final. God damn it! How has this made you more hungry for possibly Worlds and just playing an EULCS final as soon as you can and being on the biggest stage? Is your hunger even bigger? Because Jizuke, it is only your first year in professional play.
Like, of course, last week, like I've never been so sad in my life. Like I was on stage, we lost, and I didn't know what to feel really. Like I was empty. I'm seeing my teammates; they're really sad, but I did not know what to do because for me, I was seeing myself in finals already. I think this was our playoffs that we will get there, and I was picturing already us against Fnatic. And going into this week, I didn't want to feel like that ever again. So I legit tried for my life.
Of course, and I mean, if we think back, you're pretty confident that Fnatic is going to win. If they don't, though, you got to keep that level-headedness that you guys still have to play the Gauntlet. So how are you going to make sure that on the one hand, you're trying to support Fnatic, because then you're locked in, but on the other hand, you actually need to be concentrated on practicing and preparing for the Gauntlet?
I'm ready for that as well. I think the Jizuka that you saw today, if we have to go Gauntlet, you will see it again.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about that possible Gauntlet. Misfits would be in it no matter what. You played them today. What do you think of their chances in the regional qualifier, Kikis?
I think when we are there, they have no chances. But if we're out, I guess they have most chances out of the remaining teams. I think they're still, like, of course, they're a strong team, and I think they prepare well for all of the matches and for best of fives, right? I think in best of fives they are better than in best of ones, and it showed in 1 week from inting like the second half of the split to showing really good and giving Fnatic like headache and run for the finals, right? So yeah, I really respect their players, and I think Maxtor is a really good jungler, and it was pretty hard to play against him in the series, right? Because he had really good idea, like a plan for the game in the first game, and he shut me down completely. I was running, I think it was minute 20, had 0 stacks on Q-Net. I felt so useless. No one made me feel that way.
You were useless.
I'm on the other side, right? Because usually I make people that way. So.
Yeah. So now for Kikis, you may go to Worlds. I keep being careful because, you know, nothing is decided yet, and you realize that as well. You've already won an EULCS title. You've done so much, and you've now crawled back out of the depths of not being on a team, playing in Challenger. What would it mean to you if you were able to show what you have at Worlds after those years?
Everything. I don't think there's a better word for how long I've been trying to get to Worlds, right? And I dropped out of the teams due to unlucky circumstances and me not being mature enough and dealing with the situation. And I think I matured a lot, and just because I made bad decisions, my career looked the way it looked. I think if I didn't make the decision I did, my career would be, like, let's say right now it's starting, right? I have huge, like, big chances to go towards, and I think that should have been 3 years ago, but I'm not a guy that regrets things, and I just bounce back and just go forward.
And of course, to Jizuke, your first year in the LCS, you're this close to Worlds. What would it mean to you to go up against the best mid laners on the planet?
Well, I wish it was finals into Worlds, but I guess I have to be happy with it. But it means a lot because, like, I came to LCS and I was a fanboy of every single mid laner, and I'm like, now I have to play against them. Like, I have to make them my rivals. And it's same about Worlds. I am gonna go against mid laners that I respect really hard, and I'm a fanboy of all of them, so it's gonna be hard to play. But still.
Which mid laner from the EU LCS were you the biggest fanboy of before you qualified for the LCS?
Caps, Nuktak. I was a big fan of them. Perks as well, but Perks slowing down a little bit after his first year. So like last year when I was competing as well and watching every competition, I was a big fan of Caps Nuktak. Yeah. Even if Nuktak didn't perform well, like I think watching scrims.
It's his year this year now. It wasn't his year last year.
Yeah. Like watching the scrims, his solo queue and stuff like that. I was a big fan. Yeah.
Well, perfect. Let's talk a bit more about Caps versus Nukeduck and about Fnatic versus Schalke tomorrow, the final. You guys already said, of course, you hope that Fnatic wins, but why do you think it is that they're big favorites in this matchup, or if you disagree?
I think their mid jungle duo is better than Schalke. And I think they're going to get a lot of advantage from there. And I just hope that they don't sorry for
That's okay.
they don't pick scaling mid laner like they did with Misfits. I think if Caps is goes for laning phase and snowballing, I think they have a good shot of winning the whole thing.
So Kikis, how does Schalke win this tomorrow?
But I think Fnatic will win.
Okay.
There's not gonna be much competition from Schalke, so I think Schalke can win if Broxa underperforms, I guess. Because I think, okay, amazing. She showed he's really good and he keeps surprising, but still Broxa is really amazing jungler.
Yeah.
And together with Caps, I don't think Nukeduck Amazing can stand a chance. And both teams have similar playstyle of having the games slower than like us and Misfits, and I think like Reckless will just farm. He's gonna be like 200 farm, 0-0 Tristana minute 20, and then popping off one team fight. Top lane, I don't think Chachi can like try to snowball or anything. I think both top lane and bot lane will be pretty even matchups, farming for late, and then mid lane jungle is gonna make a difference. And I'm not counting on Nukeduck and Amazing to like try to fight Caps and Roxa.
But what about the fact that Schalke matched Splice's late game and team fights? Schalke matched your early game. You talked about them being slower. Every opponent they've come up against in this playoffs, they've figured out how to beat them.
I mean, last week I think we just hinted really hard. Like
It can be both.
how rarely.
Shizuke.
Huh?
It could be both, Shizuke. You could intend it.
Yeah, like
You have to be good enough to catch a throw sometimes.
Yeah, like for sure, I think anything can happen when under pressure. Like when I was watching finding Misfits, they were having a hard time winning actually some games. I don't remember what was the score actually. But and then Schalke Vitality, our early games were the worst I ever seen in history. So we just picked the for early, and then they outscale, and then they win. So I think anything can happen, but I still think Fnatic will take the win.
Yeah, we'll see. Tomorrow, Kikis, you have something to add?
Yeah, our series against Schalke, I take a lot of responsibility for that because I think they just prepared really well against our playstyle. Like they see, like we played the same way we played in the last weeks, right? And they just had a good idea about that. I didn't really expect the Skarner pick, and I entered my build. I went Tiamat twice, and then we tried it 2v2, and I just got one shot, right? Because, okay, the item is 1200 gold, and it gives 0 defensive statistics. Imagine you have Red Smite and Ruby Crystal, so I think the best of 5 started after those 2 games because of my fault, and then the third game it was our normal style, and then 4th game we just make mistakes.
What I always hear when people get underplayed as a team is like, yeah, well, you know, I think Reckless said the same thing after the Misfits match. He was like, well, they only won because we effed up in draft or whatever. Everything belongs to the game. Your enemy feeding belongs to the game. Your enemy doing well belongs to the game. The draft everything does. So I would give a bit more credit personally to Schalke because I also think that they have you just said it, they had a really good game plan and it took a while for them to come online, but some of those guys are online. Upset is doing amazingly and he might feel this is the moment. I don't want to sway your opinion and I know I can't, but I do think they have a chance to make this a very competitive series. Let me put it that way.
I agree with that, and I think if you look at the semi-final performance as well, Reckless got carried. Like, Caps put the entirety of Fnatic in his backpack, and he had a phenomenal performance. Now, please, kudos. Reckless did what he needed to do.
Don't track back, just say.
I'm not. You look at the Vayne game, it's Reckless that sits back and goes, look, can you win? And Caps goes, yes, and gives it to him. Caps makes the outplay, and it works, right? And kudos, that's what the team is doing, and they're playing around their star player. I think Nukeduck in his current form can contain Caps, and if Nukeduck can beat Caps, then these guys are going to be panicking because they're going to be final boss in the regional qualifier.
I think what will happen, top is farm just an island. Upset, if he has a better matchup, he will go 15 CS up, and Caps Broxa will win the mid jungle. And even if their bot lane is ahead, it doesn't matter because Reckless has either a better late game because his matchup is bad, but his skills better into late game, I think. So I think that's what will happen.
I mean, I think mid lane can determine it, right? If Nukeduck can shut down Caps, I think that's how Schalke gets it.
Yeah, like of course. I think the only way Schalke wins if Caps and Broxa underperform. That's the only way.
I also want to add that, yeah, you guys are right, because it seems like I'm downplaying how well Schalke played against us, and they prepared really well, and they played really well on that day against us. And yeah, I really respect them as the players, right? Because they went from inting the first split, I think, not making playoffs, right?
Yeah.
And then in the second, they went on like a 8 winning streak, and everyone was like downplaying amazing that he's not so good, and he's like Diamond 1 or whatever, and he doesn't have what it takes to achieve that, right? And actually respect amazing still. Like we were close friends before, maybe changed a bit, but I still really respect him as a player, that he can just keep bouncing like I do, I guess.
Yeah.
And we are like old squad kind of.
You're very
We talked
similar.
about it. Ace are amazing back in the day as well.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Season 1, Season 2. It's like a long time you guys have been playing.
So I'm not a sore loser, and I admit that they were much better against us. So I just want to say that I don't want to.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No.
You have a right to your opinion, but I think it's right and amazing. For instance, what a story from that guy as well.
I have a question though, because you guys have already said it. Fnatic are going to win tomorrow, right? So let's assume that happens. Schalke are final boss in the Gauntlet. G2 are in round 2, and Splice and Misfits play each other in round 1. Of those 4 teams, who wins the Gauntlet, Kikis?
Misfits for sure.
All right, Jizuke.
You believe they're going to make the run?
It's really hard to say, actually. But I think Misfits or Schalke. I mean, actually, like we didn't see G2 for a while, but if they fix their mistakes, then they're a really good
Opportunity,
rival.
op chance.
Like they're a good rival as well for all the teams remaining there.
All right. Well, if anything, it's really good if you're a fan of League of Legends, because we have the Gauntlet next week. We have the final tomorrow. Finally, before we go on or before we go off, there are some fans left here, and there are also fans at home. I'm going to give you each the chance to just talk to them after, winning a huge victory here today. You want to go first?
I'm sorry, I didn't
Oh,
understand.
do you want to say something to your fans at home and some of them that are left here? I see there are some Polish fans still there for Kikis. So.
I want to thank first the Spanish crowd there. Like, I was feeling every time I was making a play, the table was just shaking. And when I did the play on Zillion Sion bot,
You were like
I
this?
put my hands like this. And they were all shouting, and I could feel it. I want to really thank you guys.
We got that on camera, by the way.
Yeah.
Everybody saw it. It's going to be a GIF and a meme, I promise.
Yeah. And I want to thank my Italian fans. We did 4th place, now 3rd place. We did playoffs 2 times. And if we go worse, holy shit. And if we go worse, like, I think it's going to mean a lot for Italy. I want to thank everyone that cheers me up even after losses. Last week was a hard loss, and there were earthwarming comments for me, both on Twitter, both on Facebook. And I want to thank you all.
Fantastic. Kikis?
The classic thank you everyone for supporting me, right? And I think everyone should become the biggest Fnatic fans right now, because if Fnatic wins, it means we go to Worlds. And also in Polish chciałbym podziękować wszystkim Polakom, którzy tutaj przyszli i którzy mnie wspierają, i też pozdrawiam swoją grupę na Facebooku Watachę, ponieważ naprawdę dajecie mi wsparcie. Dzięki wielkie.
Awesome. They stuck around for you until the end of the show. Guys, we're almost going to wrap it up. We do have TSM versus 100 Thieves coming up in the 3rd place match in NALCS. Can you guys wager a quick prediction there?
TSM.
TSM?
TSM.
TSM. Oh.
I kind of want them to lose.
You're just not making fans tonight. You're saying that Reckless got carried. You're saying you want TSM to lose.
I think Sven Media are really insane right now. Brexton as well. So
Yeah.
if you play around those 3, I think they have the win in the pocket.
Okay. Trevor, you sure?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's one of the biggest stories, and I love talking about the big stories. I love the drama behind it. I did, however, like Mithy talking about playing up against Afromoon in a BO5. He was particularly excited about that. It's one of the matchups I'm going to be looking at as well. I think I want 100 Thieves to win, but probably TSM can take it.
Yeah, we will see what happens. It's coming up very soon. Countdown is going to kick off as well. For us, though, we are going to say goodbye for tonight at least. You can watch the rebroadcast of today after the 3rd place match at the NALCS wraps up. And we're going to say goodbye, and we'll see you tomorrow, Spain, for the final, Fnatic versus Schalke. Good night, buenas noches, y a mañana.
Cheers.
And I love hearing that roar. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live for the finals weekend here in Spain. EpicSkillshot still in amongst the fight. He's looking for the decimating smash. Knocks off a few until his silence. He can't throw out the Qs because the feral scream is so powerful. Forced arcane shift defensively, running for his life. Hansama shuts him down. Mickey, Senkux, everybody enabling Hansama. The knock up into the air. The triple kill. It's a quadra. Not gonna happen as Maxwell takes him down. Misfits win game 1.
And it was just a warm-up game for us. It's time to bring our A game.
Jizuke also ticked over.
All right, take a look at this. Senkux is going to get dived. Nethergrot,
he's
very
tanking.
good onto Kikis. Kikis will get the chrono shift. First blood picked up by Kikis.
I love it.
Nice one.
EpicSkillshot now survives at Nethergrot. He has to re-engage. Chrono shift is buying some time.
And EpicSkillshot just got a kill. They're still on Jizuke.
It's not done yet. Vitality, they are continuing the push. The Nexus turret's on the focus.
What is going on? They're diving the tower. They're looking for the win.
Look at that AoE damage from Jizuke. Not going to be enough to finish it up just yet. Attila does get chunked very, very low, and Alfari will be the final member to go down. 3 items.
Oh!
Jizuke's already blown up Senkux.
Oh my god. It's fine, it's fine.
Jizuke and Attila remain alive, pushing backwards until Killer Instinct forward. He's got 1, looking for 2, 3, 4. That's all of Misfits wiped. Vitality bust open the base, destroy the Nexus, and are 1 win away from 3rd place. Now Jizuke is in trouble. He gets caught by the Glitch.
Jack Troll's coming
on 2. But with Jack Troll's help, it's Mickey that goes down.
But it has been long enough, it certainly feels like, but he doesn't get it. The kill goes to Jizuke, a disaster for Misfits.
And for Vitality, it is a matter of time. Jizuke looks to blow up Senkux, takes him out underneath the fountain, and Vitality are 1 step closer to Worlds. Vitality are your 3rd best team in Europe.